And this is going to be the second half of the second shelf. Like I said in the other one, there are 14 books on this shelf, and so I'm going to do 7 and 7 just to make them not quite as long as they would be otherwise. Let's go right ahead and jump right in. Alright, the first book that I'm going to talk about in this one is The American Revolution, 10 Ideals That Shaped Our Country from the Puritans to the Cold War by Neil Baldwin. Neil Baldwin, one of our most exciting and provocative intellectual historians, has devoted more than 2 decades to an ongoing exploration of what he calls the cumulative biography of America, writing about the great artists, thinkers, and innovators who have contributed to the rich variety of this nation's essential character. In The American Revolution, he applies his formidable energies to the story of how the American spirit developed over 4 centuries through an inspiring and unsparing examination of selected ideals that have helped inform our culture through the vivid personalities who set the course. The next one on the shelf is The Call of the Wild and Other Stories by Jack London, even though it doesn't say his name on the front, but it's a really pretty front. Pretty sure everyone knows about Call of the Wild. I read this in, not this one, but I read The Call of the Wild in school because that's just, it was one of those that they really wanted us to read. Let me show you this. I don't know how well you can see that, but look how cool that is. And there's another one in here I thought was kind of cute. It was just a little drawing of, here it is. There it is. So yeah, I'm not going to go through, read this because it's Call of the Wild. I mean, everyone knows about the Call of the Wild, and there's just a few other stories in here. The next book on that shelf is The Bridge Across Forever. It is by Richard Bach, I don't know. That's him, that's the book. I'm going to call him Bach, just because I really like that. The Bridge Across Forever is Bach's quest to find her, to learn of love and immortality, not in the hereafter, but in the here and now. Yet caught in storms of wealth and success, disaster and betrayal, he abandons the search, and the walls he builds for protection become his prison. Then he meets the one brilliant and beautiful woman who can set him free, and with her begins a transforming journey, a magical discovery of love and joy. Okay, so I am going to lump the next 4 in one little talk about, one little speech, whatever you want to call it, because they all look like this. They don't have dust jackets on them, and I can't really be bothered to look them up, so I'm just going to talk about them for a few minutes, a minute or two, I don't know. This one is the Russian one that I don't know anything about because I don't speak Russian, and I don't read Russian, and yeah, there's that. That's the one that's on top of this pile that's sitting over here. So we'll put that one right there. The next one is A Cup of Tea for Mr. Thorgill, and it looks like this. And I don't know anything about this. I did look it up a few days ago, but I forget what was on there because it was really late at night and I couldn't really be bothered anyway. And I can't be bothered to do it, but it's A Cup of Tea for Mr. Thorgill by Storm Jameson. I did start reading this. I read a couple pages and it was kind of good. It was pretty good. But I just haven't gotten back to it, and I don't know when I will. But there's that. A Cup of Tea for Mr. Thorgill by Storm Jameson. And the next one in that little group is this one. This is the Dr. Ruth one. This is Dr. Ruth's Guide to Good Sex, and it kind of is self-explanatory. It's about sex, and she is a radio personality. I think she's just on radio. She might be on other things. I'll link anything to her down below for you. Definitely check her out. She's hysterical. She's like, I don't know if she's still alive because the last I knew she was like 80, and she's just this little German lady. She's only like 4 foot, and she's hysterical. She had this radio show where people could call in with sex questions, and she would answer them, and they could write her letters and things. And besides being a really good therapist, she is hilarious. She's just such a funny little lady. She's, like I said, she was like 80 when last I knew, and she might be dead, I don't know, she might be 100 by now, but yeah, it looks like that. I don't know if this actually had a dust jacket to begin with. It's not mine technically, or I guess it is now, because my sister's friend hasn't said anything about wanting it back, so I guess it's mine now. Definitely read this, because it is not only funny, but it is kind of informative, and it will get you thinking about things that you probably wouldn't have thought about. But I would definitely not check this out if you're not, you know, like 17, because it is about sex. And the last one on this shelf and in this little stack that I'm showing you is called Headhunter by Michael Slade. Now it looks like that, which now that I see it, like I said in my bookshelf tour number 2, part 2, which I will link down below, I said this was a big black book, which now that I'm looking at it is actually blue, so that's cool. It's a nice shade of blue. I don't know what this is about, because it doesn't have a dust jacket, but ooh, it's in Canada. Some books put maps and things in it so you can reference when you're reading, and that's really cool. I really like when they do that, and this one is all around in Canada. Well, in Vancouver, not all around in Canada, in Vancouver. So that's cool. I did know that. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what that looks like. I don't know how well you can see any of that, but it's about like, I don't know if anyone knows about headhunters, or Indians, scalping and all that. But I'm guessing that's what this is all about. And this actually shouldn't take very long. The writing is pretty big. The type is pretty big, so. So this shouldn't take very long. I just opened this to this random page just because I wanted to. And the first thing that I saw was baffling series of homosexual slayings. So that's cool. That's going to be interesting. So yeah, there's that one. Headhunter, Michael Slade. And that's the last one on this shelf.